Hi guys, welcome back to this other edition of the PI Cognitive Assessment Test with correction. This is a fourth version of the PI Cognitive Assessment Test that we are correcting on this channel. We have a first version, a second version, a third, and this is the fourth. You will also notice that the first version is the first videos that we made for the first test that we corrected was in red. The front page was in red. The second one was, I think, sky blue. The third one was yellow. And then this is the fourth one, which is green. As well, there is a playlist on this channel that has all the videos that we've made in regards to PI cognitive assessment tests. So these are questions and corrections that you can use to easily prepare for your upcoming PI cognitive assessment. Okay, without taking much of your time, let's move on. So this test actually is a very limited one. There are a series of 15 questions that I was lucky to stumble on. So I decided to say, okay, of course, it's not 50 questions that you have to do in 12 minutes. These were just 15 random questions that I found while searching on the internet. So I just thought that, yeah, why not answer these 15 questions and add it to the catalog of questions that we have so far, given that some of the questions are completely new. They are not like the previous questions that we've had. They are not all like the previous questions we've had in the previous sessions. As usual, 90% efficiency. So make sure that you check every single logic that I'm proposing to you, every explanation. Make sure you check it out, do your own thing, compare to mine, and then validate and move on. Okay. Okay, then let's start. Question one. Question one, this is an assumption conclusion question. So we have three assumptions. The first assumption is all Y items are green. B items are always blue or the same color as Y items. Only green items are for commercial use. So, conclusion, all B items are for commercial use. Now, we know that all Y items are green, right? And they say B items are always blue or the same color as Y. It means that B items are either blue or green. So you can find green B items. Now they say only green items are for commercial use. That means all of the Y items that are for commercial use and some of the B items, the ones that are green. Now here they say all B items are for commercial use. It's not true because some of the B items are blue and therefore are not for commercial use. So it is incorrect. Then we move on. So that's B. Move on to the next one. Which number has the lowest value? So we have 1/6, 1/3, well, 1/3 minus 1/6. We have 2/3 minus 1/7. We have 1/3 minus 1/4. So yeah, we put them together. You have 1/6. 1/3 minus 1/6 is 1/6 because it's just half of this one. Yeah, it's half of 1/3, so it's also 1/6. Now here we have 2/3 minus 1/7. Definitely we know that 2/3 is bigger than 1/3, right? And then 1/7 is smaller than 1/6. Obviously this number is bigger than this one, right? So it can never be this one because this number is bigger than this and these two are the same. Now we have this last number here, 1/3 minus 1/4. We notice again that 1/3 is the same as this, but then 1/4 is bigger than 1/6, right? Given that 1/4 is bigger than 1/6, subtracting 1/4 from 1/3 will make this number smaller than this one, right? And once we know that this is the smallest number without necessarily doing the maths. But if you want, you can do the maths. 1/3 minus 1/4 is the same as 1/12, okay? And given that we 1/12, you find out that it has the biggest denominator and therefore the smallest among all. Okay, let's move on. We have this displacement question. Of course, this is a question that we've had previously, similar question, but it's not exactly the same. In this one, we have to identify, we have this pattern. It's actually a pattern. We need to identify the next pattern that will complete it. So as usual, we just check how each particle is moving. When we look at the first particle, When we go from this to this, we see that it lives from here to here, and when we are here, it's here. Okay, we notice now that this rhombus, the black rhombus, in this figure, it's now, let's say this was this was your second position. It's now in the fourth position, and the triangle, the black triangle that was on the fourth position, is now on the second position. Meanwhile, the triangle, the white triangle, and the white trapezium are still in their positions. They don't leave their row. They don't leave their column. Yeah, that's the word. They don't leave their columns. Meanwhile, we have the impression, we see that the black ones are actually switching from one pattern to another. So they switch here, they switch again. Therefore, in the next one, they should switch. So we should be expecting to have the white triangle here, the black one here, yeah, and then the white should be here, should be on this column. But we instead have the black here, so it cannot be A. We go here, we try here. Okay, we have the white triangle here, we have the black triangle, okay, and then we have the white rhombus and the black rhombus. So this is the right answer. The right answer is B. But we can check the others. You see already this is not possible. You cannot have this two on the same line, on the same column. Here, what disqualifies this one? What disqualifies this one is because we've seen that we switch from the rhombus and the triangle, the black ones, they switch positions, right? So we should be expecting to have the triangle here and the rhombus here, right? So the answer is actually B. So it's actually the column. I know from the previous questions, we usually looked at how the particles move, how they move from one figure to another. You'll be checking that, okay, it has gone up by this number of steps, it has gone up by this certain number of steps, but you also figure out that there is really no pattern because this one is here, now it's a little bit up, now it's a bit midway. The black ones, you don't even know how they are moving. Look at, they are just there. The black one as well, it's just has like the movements are not really, you cannot easily track them, of course. And yeah, that leads us to B. We move on to next question. Sorry guys, my voice is a little bit down. So in this one, we need to look for which figure is not part of the family, right? So when we look at these two structures, we have this structure, we have two elements touching here, here we have two elements touching as well. Here we have two, here we have three, here we have two, here we have two. So definitely answer is B. This is the one that is out of that is not common to the other features, right? So the answer is B. Question 5. Question 5, this is a language question. They say water is to cup as flowers are to, definitely vase, right? We pour water in the cup, so the water kind of contains the water. Same as flowers, we put them in a vase, so the vase kind of contains the flowers. Okay, so the answer is B. We move on. Question 6. Which of the following is the opposite of the word extensive? So if something is not extensive, it is restricted, right? We're in a restricted area, or it's an extensive one. So the answer is D. The answer is restricted. Question 7. Question 7, we have a transform. We have a pattern as well again. So we leave from one arrow to a double-headed arrow. Now we bring another one-head arrow here, double head. So definitely the next we should be expecting an arrow. Let me just catch that quickly. We should expect an arrow like that, right? Which is no other but B, right? And if we were to go further, you will see that we need to just put a head on this one, and then we are going to get C. But the answer is B in this case. Okay, we move on to question 8. Question 8, what is next number? What is the next number in the sequence? So we have 4, 11, 25, 53. Okay, so what you notice is here you have 7. You have, so this was not quite easy, I must admit. It wasn't quite easy to identify the pattern, what was going on. But after trying a couple of things, I was able to figure out that actually you have to get 11, you actually take the first number, you multiply by 1, you You take the first number, you multiply, you take 7, you multiply 7 by 1, and then you add it to this number to get the next one. Same thing, you take this, you multiply by 2, and you add, you multiply by 2, right? You multiply by 2, and then you add it to the first, to this number to get 25. Same thing now, you take 25, you take 7, you multiply by 4. Actually, it's like you take this operation here and you multiply by 2. You multiply every time you multiply this operation by 2. I don't know if you, maybe I should have made it a little bit more explicit. I hope it's not going to cause confusion. So imagine that to get this one, I simply take what is in here, I put it here, and I multiply by 2. Okay. So you see that 7 times 2 times 2. Of course, 2 times 2 is 4. That's why I put 4 here. I made it simplified. So actually, even this one, this 7 times 1 here, normally it was just 7. You can assume there was no 7 there. Okay, to make it look more, for it to really have more sense. So you just take 4 plus 7, that's 11. And then you take 11, that's the result from the previous one, 11 plus 7, then you multiply, like you multiply the thing here by 2. Whatever you're adding, you multiply by 2 whenever you skip, when you leave from one operation to the other. So afterwards, you take the results of this 25, you put there, you take what is in the 7 times 2, you multiply it again by 2, right? When you multiply it by 2, you have 7 times, because 2 times 2 is 4, so you have 7 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28 plus 25, it's going to give you 53. You take what is in there, 7 times 4, you multiply it again by 2, it becomes like 7 times 8, which is what's 7 times 8? That's 56, right? So this is 56 plus 53, you're going to get 109. Okay, so that leads us to oh, there's a mistake. There was really actually a big mistake on this question, so the answer is A. Okay, so the answer is actually A. Good. We move on to the next question, question 9. Let me just come back quickly to this question 8. If you have another method, if you think that the method I use is a bit complex, and yeah, if you figure out another way of having the answer to getting your way to the final answer, please share in the comment section so that I can pick that up. Okay, thank you. I always check the comment section, so make sure to like and subscribe. Unfortunately, I had to put this here. You will notice that in all the questions, I decided to put them a little bit everywhere. It's because some of my previous videos got stolen by one random guy. He stole my videos, and my logo used to just be down there, and he just put his logo down there, so you can barely see that the videos are from me. And then he reposted on his channel. I've reported them, but YouTube is taking so much time to take the videos down. So okay, let's leave that out and continue. Question 9. Question 9, we have, you are responsible for mailing 80,000 letters. You must mail 25% of the total letters over the next 5 days. If you plan to mail 1/5 of this amount each day, what is the total amount that you plan to mail each day? Okay, so we want to mail 1/5 of 25% of 80,000 letters, right? So that's the expression, and we know that of is literally multiplication. So you have 5 goes into 5 there, you have 500 goes, and when you multiply that, you get 4,000 letters that you need to mail per day. Okay, that sounds impossible, like in real life. Okay, let's move on. Question 10. Question 10, we have a transformation question where this figure here transform to this one, and we need to look for the figure to which this one is going to transform into, right? So here we can easily see that the outer squares here, dark squares, they remain the same, they don't change in size and in color. The mid squares, they gain an extra one. So you see that the wide one here becomes two of them, two, two, two. And then the middle one, naturally, from expanding this one by two and this by two, this by two, this by two, actually becomes four, right? Or let's say gains one on the right and gains one horizontally and gains one vertically. So it kind of becomes that. So if we apply the same logic to this one, we already know that the extremes are not going to change, right? So that sends us to either A or B. So we have there, 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 and the color will not also change. It's going to be white. Now, the next thing we know is this mid rectangles need to gain one, right? So they're going to become three of them, which leads to A and B again. Then now the final element is the middle one. We said the middle one should all be white, which is B, because here we have this dark spot here that um, that eliminates A from the options. So our answer here is actually B. We move on to question 11. Question 11, assumption conclusion question. So they say customer 1 and customer 2 each buy products X and Z. Product Y is never sold to customers who buy product Z. Conclusion: product Y is never sold to customers 1 and 2. So now let's analyze this. Um, let's get into it. So when you read the first statement, customer 1 and customer 2 each buy products X and Z. For me, this means customer 1 buys X and Z, and customer 2 also buys X and Z. Because if it was that customer 1 buys only product X and customer 2 buys only product Z, they would have mentioned something like customer 1 and customer 2 each buy product X and Z respectively, to kind of put that separation, to say each of them bought only one of those things. But when you put it like this, it means each of them, if you're reading it, you mean that each of them has actually bought X and Z. Now, the second statement tells us that product Y is never sold to customers who buy product Z. That means customer 1 and customer 2 can never buy product Y, right? So product Y is never sold to customer 1 and to customers 1 and 2, which is correct. We move on to question 12. What is the next number in the sequence below? We have 3, 7, 12, 18, 25. We simply notice that we take the first number, we add 4, we get 7. We take this number, we add 5, we get this. We add 6, we get that. We add 7, we get that. Of course, we are going to add 8 to it to get 33. So the answer is D. And question 13, we have a transformation question. We have this figure transforming to this. So this is going to transform into what? So we start by identifying the inner figure. The inner figure is this. When we go to the transform version, we see that the first thing we identify is that the color changes. It leads from black to white. And the arrow is it's rotated in the anti-clockwise. So it's kind of rotated like that, right? So it becomes like that. And then we look at the external one. The external figure also rotates, but keeps its same color. Okay, so it rotates also in the same direction like this one, like that, to be upright. So if you apply the same logic here, the first thing we are going to know that if this has to rotate in the anti-clockwise direction, it's going to be pointing upward, and its color is also going to become white. So it's either C or D. Then now we look at the outer structure. The outer structure also has to rotate. So when it rotates, we have C as our final answer. Okay. So then we move to the next question, question 14. We have two figures, and then we need to identify the figure that is not part of them. So we have to identify the element that's not part of the family. So when you look at these first two, you see that they all have shadows pointing the direction of the shadow, right? So they're pointing like that, like this. So this is Southwest. Yeah, south. They are pointing southwest, 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 and this one is instead pointing southeast. This one is also pointing southwest. So this is the element that's out of the group. That's C. We move on now to question 15, which is our last question for this very limited edition. Unfortunately, the test I found had only 15 questions, so I cannot go beyond that because I don't have more, and I'm not going to create new questions because I'm not the owner of the questions. I'm just taking sample questions that have already been that are somewhere on the internet. Just get them, and then I do the corrections, and then I post them here to help those who are looking for resources to train for their to prepare for their PI cognitive assessment. Okay, so here we have a maths question. We say you have invited 94 people to a meeting. Of those people, 11 from the north cannot attend. So we remove 11. 7 from the south cannot attend. 7. 3 from the east cannot attend. And 11 from the west cannot attend. So how many people should you expect? So when you do the maths, you get 62. So the answer is 62. And this takes us to the end of our video, guys. Again, I'm very sorry that I had to put this. Please like and subscribe in different positions, as you can see all through the video. As I mentioned, there is we have a burglar, we have a thief. He's a thief. I call him a thief who has been on my channel, downloading all my videos and reposting them and hiding my logo. So I just thought that okay, maybe I'm gonna make work a little bit difficult for him, but I hope it's not going to disturb you guys from um, preparing well, from looking at the content and enjoying it. Please don't forget, as usual, like and subscribe, share, don't hesitate. Drop anything in the comment. Let's discuss. I always read the comments, and that's how we share. And it has also helped me to improve the quality of the videos that I am doing now. Because if you watch the very first videos I made, there were some things I presented that were not really the best ways to go about it, but due to the comments from others who watch the videos, I was able to ameliorate the other videos that are on this channel. So you should be expecting to see there will be a playlist. I'm going to post the playlist of all the videos that we have somewhere here. So you can click and follow all of them. And then, yeah, what else can I tell you? Good luck. I hope you land the job. Good luck in your preparation and see you around.